All right. Shami Yashar'AL. AHAYAH, Alahyanawah, AHAYAH, Accad, Shabbat, Shalawam, Barak, Athah. Blessings unto you. Welcome to Word War 3. Our reference today will be Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1. And this message will be called Eradication of Colonialism. Now, here's some people you may know. David Miles Hogg, an American gun control activist. Greta, Tintin, Eleonora, Ernman, Thunberg. She's a Swedish and environmental activist, and these people are on television. Probably know them quite well by now. And here's some other people that you may not know quite as well, but are probably famously known. Emmitt Lewis Till, who was silenced. Tamir Rice, who was silenced. Michael Brown Jr., who was silenced. Trayvon Benjamin Martin, who was silenced. And most famously, Martin Luther King Jr., who was silenced. These are all people in the so-called Afro-American community or black community that you know. Yet, we're hearing so much about these other people, about their concerns and considerations, but we're not hearing anyone but from our own community because they're all being silenced. Now, let's get to it. The declarations, plural, of independence in the United States. Here's a quote. King George has waged cruel war on human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distinct people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur a miserable death in their transportation thither. Unquote. This is removed from the Declaration of Independence you know today. It was removed. What you don't know is that the General Assembly 43rd session of the 59th Plenary hearing, 22 November 1988. These hearings, get this, Resolution 43rd session and the 47th hearing, the first international decade for the eradication of colonialism, from 1990 to 2000, no news media coverage. Resolution 55, Session 146 hearing. Second international decade for the eradication of colonialism, 2001 through 2010. When your first black president was in office, no news media coverage. Resolution number 65 session, the 65th session, and the 119th hearing. Third international decade for the eradication of colonialism, from 2011 through 2020. No news media coverage, in the United States at least. Now, if there's no news coverage on the eradication of colonialism, why do you think that's happening? And again, this was in 2011. The last one was in 2011, and it'll end in 2020, which is pretty much the next year, 6 months from now, or so to say. No news coverage on these events that are happening, but yet we're seeing our people suffer tremendously. Now, here's a resolution to throw at you. Resolution number 61, session 295, the 295th hearing. The United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. And there was some news media coverage on it because President Barack Obama signed off on it, saying, hey, look, we recognize Indigenous people. Now, what's mentioned is Native American and other indigenous communities. These are tribes that are recognized by the federal government, and people and tribes who, have oral histories, who claim to be tribes. You black people. Resolution number 67, or session 68, resolution 68 session, and the 237th hearing. the International Decade for the People of African Descent from 2015 to 2024. This is on the books, folks, right now. Adopted on the 23rd December 2013. There was no news media coverage at a time when police killings of black people rose. Now here's some U.S. codes that identifies nationality. 8 U.S. Code subsection 1410 or 1401, which is nationals and citizens of the United States. In section or subsection B, it says other or Aboriginal tribes. Again, the oral history of black people. And we're going to get into that subject in our next video. Stay tuned for that. Share this video. We're going to get into that in our next section because that's important. What's being said right now is important. And here we go on. 8 U.S. Code subsection 1402 recognize persons born in Puerto Rico. 8 U.S. Code 1403 persons born in the Canal Zone of the Republic of Panama. 8 U.S. Code 1404 persons born in Alaska. 8 U.S. Code 1405 persons born in Hawaii. 8 U.S. Code 1406 persons living or born in the Virgin Islands. 1407 persons living or born in Guam. And again, all these are identifying ethnic related or people of color in these places. And they are given U.S. citizenship, some of which have their own rule of law. Here's some codes to consider for black people, sort of say, or people of color. 42 U.S. Code subsection 1983, which is civil actions for deprivation of rights. If you're a black citizen, use this code. I used it and it didn't do so well. So again, the reason why this video is being made, because I used this 42 U.S. Code subsection 1983, and the federal justice system kindly pushed me to the side. So again, I'm just giving you the recognitions of this. Now, have you ever heard of the Indian Civil Rights Act? You probably never heard of it put that way, but it's called the Civil Rights Act of 1968. You know, the one that Martin Luther King was assassinated for. This Civil Rights Act is the Indian Civil Rights Act, which is a public law 90/284. And it's a statute law, which is 82 Statute 73, enacted April 11, 1968. Again, they're associating you black people with Indian civil rights. Does that make you think? Please help me. If it's not helping you, please say something, or just, let's keep going. 18 USC subsection 245B number 2. Again, 18 USC is criminal procedures. So this 18 USC subsection 245B2 is a prosecution of anyone who willingly injures, intimidates, or interferes with another person or attempts to do so by force because of their other person's race, color, religion, or national origin. Now again, somebody's not paying attention to this USC code 18. And the 25 US code, title 25, Indians, or subsection 71 through 88. And in chapter 4, performance by the United States of obligations to Indians. You need to know that, Negroes, because you have an oral history. You need to know that. And what's found in there? Funds held in trust. You know that the government takes money from you as citizens and they, put it in a trust fund for you, holding it. You probably don't know that, but I'm here to tell you. Now, if you don't know these things, you need to be seeking that. You need to be going to your state representatives, primarily the Secretary of State, and you gathering all this information that you have, and you had to talk to your community. You had to talk to the people around you and let them know that, hey, this stuff is available. They're not going to tell you that, but what you see is that you so-called black people are getting skipped over. And the people that are actually helping you or could assist you are being silenced while they're getting you to recognize other people. In fact, people who are in other countries are being more recognized than to what you are being recognized today. And if I'm not saying something that you understand, even if you don't like this message, if I'm not speaking proper English to you, still share this message. Still share it. I'll put all the links below in the section below. And again, this is something that you black people ought to know. The international community is fighting desperately for you. The government that you keep voting for, that you keep signing the census for, they're doing everything to suppress you, but you still have it in your mind thinking that this government company, the United States is a company, you have it in your mind that they have the best interest for you. When they found you indigenous, they found you as aboriginals, they found you as Indians. I am a conscientious objector. I'm also a Hebrew Israelite, an administrator of peace and truth. Hebrew Israelite out.